Hi everybody, it's Nancy Rink of Nancy Rink Designs, and I'm a fabric designer with Marcus Fabrics. So today I'm here to introduce you to my new fabric line, Las Flores. It's a follow-up to my previous line, Night Riviera, which you're seeing a quilt on the wall and on the table. So it's a watercolor inspired line, much like Night Riviera, and the color palette is a companion palette to Night Riviera. So it still incorporates some of the purples, the pinks, but we have a few more blues and some nice blenders to go with it. I'm supposed to tell you about my inspiration to this line. So, at first I didn't think I had an inspiration, and then it sort of dawned on me as I was working on it that, yeah, I do. Everything that comes from me comes from somewhere, in my experience. So I come from a family of creators. Here's my aunts and uncles on my mom's side when they were young, little family portrait. And I'll start with my Aunt Alice. Here she is here, and she's up here. She is an Emmy Award nominated costumer. She worked in Hollywood for many years on lots of big movies that I'm sure you've seen, and then also she worked on the West Wing doing the costumes for the run of the show. Next is my Uncle Daryl, the only boy in the family of all girls, and he's a contractor, but he does one-of-a-kind homes. I mean, he's a true artisan. He creates things out of wood and metal and glass. So he has his own construction company up in Berkeley and just creates amazing things. My Aunt Loretta, she is sort of the ultimate crafty person. She makes handmade painted cards, illustrated cards for, you'll get one for your birthday or for Christmas, and she does all sorts of other crafty, cool little things. Very talented. And then there's my mom, Glinda. My mom owned along with my dad, a furniture and lighting store for years and years. And she was an interior decorator, not by training, but just she had the greatest eye. She had loyal customers, and she just was an amazing person. Just really could make something beautiful out of your home. And so those are all the children of my grandmother, Frida, who grew up in an adobe house with a dirt floor, lived on a ranch. She was the only girl with all her brothers who were cowboys. They worked out on the ranch. And she moved to town when she got married and raised a family. And then when they all left home at roughly the age of 40, she went to college and got her teaching credential and taught school. And she was the one who taught me how to sew. So I owe most of my sewing talents to my grandmother, because she basically never said no. I'm sure I did a lot of crazy things behind a sewing machine. But when I went back and looked at a lot of photos of my family, the color palette that I was working on, you can see in what they're wearing. You can see my grandmother in the plums and the blues, and my aunt. And then my mom, that was her favorite color, was the fuchsias and the plums, and she wore those all the time. So that's my inspiration for Las Flores, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you ask for it at your local quilt shop. Let me show you a few of the individual pieces in this 18-piece line. This is a scattered leaf. You can see the little colors in there. We're sprinkling the colors. And then we've got this pebble pattern, and I've got it in 3 different colors. And down here, we've got our leaf floral. We'll go over that. And then we have 2 stripes. And it's a sort of modelly, multicolor stripe. It's got a lot of movement. And then here's your other 2 colors of your pebbles. And we have this swirl pattern. It's got purple, 2 shades of purple and green on a creamy ground. Here's our toss leaves, sort of a scrapbooky cutout sort of look. And then we did this sort of tiley, shimmery pattern in 2 colors. Here's the green, dark green, and here's the cobalt blue with green highlights. And this is just a packed little floral to pull all your colors together in 2 colorways. And a fun just pattern we called maze to give you some texture. And this last one sort of might not read very well. It's the same swirl pattern, but it's very dark to give you contrast. So there's good contrast in this group with lights, darks, and then a variety of color. All right, let me show you some of the patterns I've designed for you with this line. This one's called Talavera, inspired by Mexican Talavera tiles. This pattern came from a design on a Mexican tile I have, and it features an applique block. It's 62 inches square, and the colors alternate in the blocks. It's got a sweet little scallopy border, and it's on the light ground, and it's 62 inches square. If you don't want to make something that big, here's a little 34-inch size, same block. We put it on the dark swirl background, so it gives it a very dramatic look, and give you some little more appliques in the corner, and topped it off with that lead floral. This pattern is called Garden Dance, and it features a Dresden style flower, sort of, I guess you would call it a sunflower, but it's not sunflower colors. But we've used our 2 colorways, the plum colorway and the blue colorway, and you can see I've alternated those. And then we've got these nice framed piece blocks. This quilt is amazingly easier to construct than it looks, so you get a lot of bang for the buck with this quilt. This quilt is called Colores, which means colors. So this has all the colors, everything in the line. It is a sampler quilt, so if you like to do samplers, or if you're a shop who's sort of looking for a sampler block of the month quilt, this might fit the bill. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 different blocks, and then an alternating block 5, and it's got a top and a bottom border. And you could always expand the borders if you like to make it larger. Right now where it measures 69 by 79.